Naram chaiva narottamam.
Naram chaiva narottamam.
Devim saraswatim vyasam.
Devim saraswatim vyasam.
Tato jayamudirayet.
Tato jayam udirayet.
Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu.
Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu.
Nityam bhagavata sevaya.
Nityam bhagavata sevaya.
Bhagavati ruttama sloke.
Bhagavati uttama shloke.
Bhaktir bhavati naistiki.
Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, verse 38. Sita Vishika Hato Vishirna Damsha.
Sita vishikha hato vishirna dhamsa.
Kshata cha paripluta atatayino me.
Sataja paripluta atataino me.
Prasabham abhisasara madbadhartham.
Prasabham abhisasara mat vadhartam.
Sabhavathu me Bhagavan gatir mukhanda.
Sabhavatu me bhagavan gatir mukunda.
Sita Vishika Hato Vishirna Damsa.
Sita vishikha hato vishirna damsa.
Kshatta cha paripluta atatayino me.
Sataja paripluta atataino me.
Prasabham abhisasara madbadhartham.
Prasabham abhisasara mat vadhartam.
Sabhavatu me Bhagavan gatir mukunda.
Sabhavatu me bhagavan gatir mukunda.
Sita vishika hato vishirna damsa.
Sita
Vishika
hato
hato
vishirna
vishirna
dhamsa.
Shataja parifluta atano inome.
Sataja paripluta atataino me.
Rashabam abhishashara madvadartam.
Prasabham
Prasabham
abhisasara madbadhartham.
abhisasaramadhartam.
Sabhavatu me Bhagavan gatir mukunda.
Sabhavatu me
Bhagavan
bhagavan
gatir
gatir
mukunda.
mukunda.
Translation purport by Divine Grace of Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki
You know
jai.
names: Sita, sharp.
Sita sharp.
Vishika, arrows.
Vishika arrows.
Hatha, wounded by.
Hatha wounded by.
Vishirna damsha, scattered shield.
Vishirna damsa, scattered shield.
Shatacha, by wounds.
Shataja by wounds.
Paripluta, smeared with blood.
Paripluta, smeared with blood.
Atatayina, the great aggressor.
Atataina, the great aggressor.
May my. Prasabham in an angry mood.
Prasabham in an angry mood.
Abhisasara began to move on.
Abhisasara began to move on.
Matvada artham, for the purpose of killing me.
Madhvada artham, for the purpose of killing me.
Sa he.
Sahi.
Bhavatu may become.
Bhavatu may become.
May my. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead.
Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead.
Gati, destination.
Gati, destination.
Mukunda, who awards salvation.
Mukunda, who awards salvation.
Translation, please repeat after me. May he, Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead.
May he, Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead,
who awards salvation,
who
who
awards
awards
salvation,
salvation,
be my ultimate destination.
be my ultimate
In
destination.
my ultimate destination.
On the battlefield, he charged me
On the
battlefield, he charged me
as if angry
as if angry,
as if angry
because of the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows.
because of the wounds
because of the
given by
wounds
my
dealt by my
arrows.
sharp arrows.
His shield was scattered,
His shield was
His
scattered,
shield was scattered,
and his body was smeared with blood due to the wounds.
and his
and his body was smeared with blood due to the wounds.
Purport.
Purport. The dealings of Lord Krishna and Bhishma Deva on the battlefield of Kurukshetra are interesting because the activities of Lord Sri Krishna appeared to be partial to Arjuna and at enmity with Bhishma Deva. But factually, all this was specially meant to show special favor to Bhishma Deva, a great devotee of the Lord. The astounding feature of such dealings is that a devotee can please the Lord by playing the part of an enemy. The Lord, being absolute, can accept service from his pure devotee even in the garb of an enemy. The Supreme Lord cannot have any enemy, nor can a so-called enemy harm him because he is Ajita or unconquerable. But still, he takes pleasure when his pure devotee beats him like an enemy or rebukes him from a superior position, although no one can be superior to the Lord. These are some of the transcendental reciprocatory dealings of the devotee with the Lord. And those who have no information of pure devotional service cannot penetrate into the mystery of such dealings. Bhishma Deva played the part of a valiant warrior, and he purposely pierced the body of the Lord so that to the common eyes it appeared that the Lord was wounded. But factually, all this was to bewilder the non-devotees. The all-spiritual body cannot be wounded, and a devotee cannot become the enemy of the Lord. Had it been so, Bhishma Deva would not have desired to have the very same Lord as the ultimate destination of his life. Had Bhishma Deva been an enemy of the Lord, Lord Krishna could have annihilated him without even moving. There was no need to come before Bhishma Deva with blood and wounds, but he did so because the warrior devotee wanted to see the transcendental beauty of the Lord decorated with wounds created by a pure devotee. This is the way of exchanging transcendental rasa or relations between the Lord and the servitor. By such dealings, both the Lord and the devotee become glorified in their respective positions. The Lord was so angry that Arjuna checked him when he was moving towards Bhishma Deva. But in spite of Arjuna's checking, he proceeded towards Bhishma Deva as a lover goes to a lover without caring for hindrances. Apparently, his determination was to kill Bhishma Deva, but factually it was to please him as a great devotee of the Lord. The Lord is undoubtedly the deliverer of all conditioned souls. The deliverer of all conditioned souls. One second, sorry. Apparently, his determination was to kill Bhishma Deva, but factually it was to please him as a great devotee of the Lord. The Lord is undoubtedly the deliverer of all conditioned souls. The impersonalists desire salvation from him, and he always awards them according to their aspiration. But here, Bhishma Deva aspires to see the Lord in his personal feature. All pure devotees aspire for this.
हरि ओम तत्सत् मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मुखं करोति वा नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताक स्वामिन्येति नामिने नमो आचार्यपदाय निताय कृपप्रदायिने गौरकथाधामथाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादे पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरा भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरिहराय नाम कृष्ण यादवाय नाम हरे गोपाल गोविंद राम श्रीमधुसूदनम् मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिमत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्यमीश्वरम् Hari Om Tat Sat. Again, you see a beautiful verse here, how Bhishma Deva, you can see that it was, war time, and on that particular day, the war was almost about to be ended because the sun was almost setting, and Bhishma was the only person who was most busy trying to kill Arjuna and shooting arrows in such a speed that Arjuna and Krishna both could not manage. To that extent it has come, and Krishna has jumped out of the chariot and then took the wheel and then hurried towards Bhishma Dev. This is just a moment only there, but how much Bhishma Dev would have been meditated and witnessed that scene as a devotee, that he is able to remember and elaborately describe that particular situation, how he looked like, what all the different parts of Krishna was dealing with his arrows and falling off the Uttariya and holding a wheel and rushing towards him, and the horse hoofs raised dust on his head like ashen color and whatnot. So beautifully he's describing how much Bhishma Dev was seeing Krishna and thinking of Krishna with full consciousness, even at the time of shooting arrow with such a speed. So it seems that both were not actually fighting in the battlefield. In fact, Bhishma Dev was worshipping very vigorously with the sharp arrows, and Krishna lovingly accepting that and hurried towards him. And he broke his own promise. This is not an ordinary thing, the Supreme Lord breaking his promise. So, very, very beautiful that Bhishma Dev, even now Krishna is right in front of him standing, but Bhishma Dev's remembrance is that particular form of Krishna which has reciprocated directly with Bhishma Deva's offering of arrows. This is the attractive feature of Krishna. Krishna reciprocates 100% to his devotees on the spot, not delay. Suppose you are doing arati, it is not that after you complete arati, after a few days, you will get the reciprocation. It is not bank balance and interest. It is on the spot exchange. Loving exchange is spontaneous and it is simultaneous. Just because we forgot Krishna, Krishna has not forgotten us. So, patram pushpam phalam toyam, what to speak of arrows and roses and so on and so forth. Even one leaf, one drop of water, if you offer, Krishna accept it because bhaktyo, emo bhaktya prayaschati. Your devotion, Krishna accepts. Whether it is in the form of sharp arrow or in the form of just a banana peel and not the banana, or it is in the form of a wonderful boga that you are offering. Doesn't matter. He accepts with the same love and affection. So it is called 100% reciprocation. So Bhishma is meditating on the reciprocative Krishna who reciprocated only to Bhishma. Apparently it seemed that, okay, Bhishma is enemy and Krishna is fighting to protect Arjuna, but it is not so. Even Arjuna may thought so, but Krishna was actually reciprocating to Bhishma Dev. Very, very beautiful. The dealings of Lord Krishna and Bhishma Dev on the battlefield of Kurukshetra is all attractive feature actually, because this is not partial to Arjuna. He is equally reciprocative to Bhishma Deva. And especially here, more than Arjuna, Krishna cared for Bhishma Deva in the battlefield that he left Arjuna. He came towards Bhishma Deva. Just imagine. He left even Arjuna, who is his best friend and who is his devotee, whom he has spoken the whole Bhagavad Gita, whom he has been protecting. Apparently, he was protecting Arjuna throughout. But no. Bhishma Deva's devotion in the battlefield comparing to Arjuna's devotion became so intense now at this particular moment in the battlefield that Krishna left Arjuna and more attracted towards Bhishma Dev, and he was hurriedly coming towards Bhishma Dev as per the reciprocative loving exchange of arrow and the wheel or whatever it is. This attracts. Krishna says, no, bhaktya mama pijanati. Arjuna's devotion was the most till Krishna got down from the chariot. But the moment Bhishma's devotion became so intense that even Arjuna could not compete, Krishna left Arjuna and launched at Bhishma Dev. This is the beauty of Krishna's reciprocation when a devotee is offering anything out of love. Whether it is in the platform of enmity or whatever it is, between Lord and the devotee, there is no question of enmity. It's absolute. Absolute. Even in the garb of enemy, he will accept the service as much as a favorable devotee. Jaya and Vijaya came as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So Krishna has very enjoyed fighting with them. Jambavan was fighting for 28 days. Krishna enjoyed the fighting. So when the enemy, of course, they were covered. That is a different thing. That the Lord's Leela, that the Lord wants to get a good devotee to give him a good fight. There are so many different ways the Lord will accept it. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu was, ordered to come down and act in such a way, and they were not conscious. They were really enmity feeling was there because it was instilled by Krishna because he wanted a very tough fight. But still, only with the nail, Hiranyakashipu got killed. What can be? But Jambavan, on the other hand, he also did not know Krishna. So he was fighting, and Krishna was enjoying the fight for 28 days. In 28 days continuously, Jambavan was fighting. Then he found, wow, this can never be anybody other than my Ram. Immediately he surrendered. This is a beauty. But here Bhishma is different. How Bhishma is different? Bhishma is favorably disposed, not unfavorably. It's Anukulya Krishna Anusilanam. Bhishma knows Krishna is my dear Lord, the lovable object of my heart. This particular same Krishna is my Nayana Padakami. This Bhishma Dev knows well, not unconsciously he was fighting. Knowing well, and the loving exchange between Bhishma and Krishna is not that one side he was known and other side he has been hidden or covered by Maya. No, Bhishma is very clearly aware of Krishna's supreme position and his worshipable Lord, and he was doing a loving exchange. So his devotion becomes more and more intense. There are two personalities in the battlefield who was thinking of Krishna 24 hours both day and night when they were doing the fighting, and both of their fighting was not considered karma. One is Arjuna and another is Bhishma Dev. And Bhishma Dev devotion is so much increased that beautifully, you see, Krishna left the chariot of Arjuna and he was hurrying towards Bhishma's chariot. This is the beauty, how to attract Krishna. Bhaktya mama bijanati. Arjuna, you see, Bhishma's devotion became more than intense than yours. That Krishna left you and he has launched at the chariot of Bhishma Dev. This is loving reciprocatory dealings of the devotee with the Lord. So it is not possible for anyone to perceive unless otherwise they have the association of such pure devotees. Though Bhishma Dev was playing a valiant warrior and he has purposely pierced the body of the Lord. So for the common eyes, it appeared as if the Lord was wounded. But factually, all these things are very beautifully, the Lord was decorated. His shield was scattering, the blood spot due to the wound was visible. Oh my God, that beautiful scene of Krishna as 100% reciprocating only to Bhishma Dev, forgetting everything else happening around, including Arjuna, is such a wonderful, attractive scene that Bhishma can never ever forget that reciprocation. Bhishma was so fortunate. Krishna was most pleased, most pleased. So, if Bhishma Deva is ever thought himself enemy of the Lord, even for a moment, there was no question of Bhishma Deva remembering this particular beautiful scene. He has killed so many enemies, he has not remembered anybody. Okay. But Krishna, he can never ever forget. Similarly, if Krishna thought even for a moment that, oh, Bhishma is an enemy, he is my devotee, by standing on the enemy side, merely by thought the Bhishma would die. Bhishma, don't think that Bhishma's will die on his own will is more powerful than Supreme Lord. No. Bhishma can make, Krishna can make Bhishma will of death and then willing death and give the death anytime. He is supreme. But Krishna never treated him as enemy, nor Bhishma has ever acted as enemy to Krishna. This can never ever be understood by an ordinary man. It can only be understood by pure devotees, by the association of such pure devotees. That is why Lord Krishna has not annihilated him when Bhishma was giving so much of trouble, apparently, but it was not trouble. He was showing his devotion. He was showing his devotion. Arjuna was showing his devotion. Everybody showing their devotion. And Bhaktya Mama Vijanati, whose devotion is how much. That is the competition there. It is not the war against both of Bhishma and Arjuna. It was who can serve Krishna and please Krishna the most. Between Arjuna and Bhishma, this was going on. Amongst all others, there was war. There was fighting, enemies. But between Arjuna and Bhishma on that particular day was a severe, wonderful, loving competition that, okay, let me see how much you love Krishna. You hold Krishna 24 hours with you on the chariot. I will draw him to my chariot. Let me see if I have even a little devotion. Let me show it. So Bhishma was so much vigorous and showing his devotion in such a way that truly Bhishma has successful. And Krishna has left Arjuna's chariot, came down and running towards Bhishma's chariot. This is the beauty of the reciprocation of the pure loving exchange between the Lord and the devotees. So the wound created by Bhishma is all transcendental beauty. This is a kind of rasa being exchanged, chivalry, rasa being exchanged between devotee and Krishna. This 100%, it's a relationship between the Lord and his servitor. So in this, both of them are equally, according to the respective position, glorified. So Arjuna was trying to stop. We saw in the photo shown by Shantagopi that Arjuna was holding the lotus feet of Krishna. Okay, by any amount of devotion, any activity of Arjuna could not stop Krishna, because Bhishma's devotion was so intense, more than Arjuna, that even Arjuna, by holding the lotus feet of Krishna, could not check him, could not stop him. Bhishma has so attracted, he has purchased Krishna in one sense by the devotional service, by the loving exchange. This is the position of Bhishma. Bhishma Dev ki jai. So this is the beautiful exchange between Bhishma and Krishna. When that particular loving exchange going on between Bhishma and Krishna, nothing can hindrance. Even Arjuna's devotion could not hindrance. Arjuna holding the lotus feet of Krishna and pulling, please Krishna, don't go. No, beta, you can't stop me, Arjuna, because Bhishma is so loving and is so wonderful devotional service is offering. Who can stop me? I am purchased by such pure devotees as Bhishma. I am leaving you. I am going to Bhishma. You see, this is the position of Krishna. If Krishna can break his own promise, you think that Krishna cannot leave Arjuna? He can do anything. It all depends upon who shows how much love to Krishna. That's all. How much, what is the power of your devotional service? How much you purchase Krishna? How much Krishna is reciprocating to you? Madhara Mohana Mohini, Radharani, the supreme devotional service personified. She has purchased Krishna both 24 hours, day and night. That is her position. And here, Bhishmadev is one of the great authority. He is showing, okay, Lord is very dear to Arjuna, no doubt. Let me see how much dear Lord is to me. I am his enemy standing in the battlefield. Let me see if he's dear to me. You see how much he left Arjuna and he rushed towards Bhishma is a very beautiful scene. And this is not an ordinary movement at all. One should really understand from the devotional platform, from the Vasudeva platform. And that Bhishma Deva's aspiration is not, though Krishna is considered Mukunda giving salvation, the impersonalist may desire the salvation, but Bhishma is not. A pure devotee will not like any kind of mukti from the Mukunda, who can give the mukti. He wants the personal feature of the Lord to be witnessed all the time and serve him 24 hours, both day and night. This is what pure devotee aspire, always. So, wish you all a very happy Govardhan, Giri Govardhan Mahamotsav. Today is the wonderful appearance of Sri Giri Govardhan. So, and today is Diwali. Wish you all a very happy Diwali. Is it Giri Govardhan's day today? I doubt.
It's on Wednesday, sir.
Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
So today is Diwali. Okay. So Shantagopi, you have anything to say, or we can proceed to the next verse? Yeah. So this is the beautiful reciprocation between Bhishma Dev and Lord Krishna. How wonderfully Krishna is reciprocating. Bhishma Dev can never ever forget that particular reciprocation. And whenever the Lord personally reciprocates to a particular activity, to a devotee through a transcendental activity, that devotee will meditate upon, and he can never ever forget, to such an extent that that form becomes the worshipable form for the devotee eternally. Like Prahlad Maharaj has Narsingadev, and he has taken Narsingadev's form eternally as his worshipable Lord. Hanuman has accepted Lord Ramachandra as his worshipable deity of the worshipable deity of his heart eternally. Even when Hanuman came as Murari Gupta and Lord Ram came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Murari Gupta, you go and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and the whole day and night he was trying, and he came back and he submitted that, please allow me to suicide. because I have disobeyed your order. Whenever I am trying to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra on your order, but always the Ram name comes to me and Ramachandra comes in front of me, and I am not able to remove that and replace with this particular Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So please, you forgive me for disobeying you. I am suiciding. So this is the position of Murari Gupta. And then Lord Chaitanya revealed, yes, Murari, you don't need to say suicide. This is the beauty I want to show the world, how much you are fixed up your devotion on a form that you aspire. So you are actually Hanuman and I am the Ram. Don't worry. So in this way, he has given, the appearance of, he has appeared as Lord Ramachandra along with Sita and Lakshman, and Murari Gupta became Hanuman for a moment, and then they have loving exchanged, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Murari, you can continue to chant the Lord Ram's name, go on. So in this way, a devotee, when a personal reciprocation is seen from a Lord in a particular form, he can never remove that form and replace with any other form. That is not possible at all. It is something impossible by even a pure devotee. So the reciprocation is so wonderful that they can eternally hold that form and live with that form eternally. That is why for each of the different form, there is Vaikuntha planet where the devotees cannot leave that form, so they can come and live there. This is the beauty of it. Dhruva Maharaj cannot give up the Vishnu's form that he has seen. He is living in Dhruva Loka now along with the Lord. It's a Lord's own abode where he is the king. Dhruva is the king. And even the Sabda Rishis are circumnavigating 24 hours both day and night, this Dhruva Nakshatra. Nakshatra is the planet abode of the Lord where Dhruva is ruling. So this is the beauty of pure devotees. They can never forget eternally that particular form of the Lord, which has reciprocated to them in a particular activity. When the Lord is also performing a reciprocal activity to an activity, like what you are offering, Lord is accepting and is eating. So what kind of reciprocal
Haribol?
activity is that? Yeah, Haribol.
Yeah, you can go to the next verse. At the end, maybe 10 minutes.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, verse 39. Vijayarata Kutumba Atatotre
Vijayarata Kutumba Atatotre
Dhrutahaya Rasmini Tachriye Kshaniye
Dritahaya Rasmini Takshriye Kanshaniye
Bhagavati Ratirastu Me Mumurshor
Bhagavati Ratir Astu Me Mumurshor
Yam Iha Nirikshya Hatha Swarupam
Yam Ihyaha Nirikshya Hatha Gata Swarupam
Vijayarata Kutumbha Atatotre
Vijayarata Kutumba Atatotre
Dhrutahaya Rashmini Tachriye Kshaniye
Dritahaya Rasmini Takshriye Kshaniye
Bhagavati Ratirastu Me Mumurshor
Bhagavati Ratirastu Me Mumurshor
Yam Iha Nirikshya Hatha Gatha Swarupam
Yam Iha Nirikshya Hatha Gata Swarupam
Vijayarata Kudamba Tatotre
Vijayarata
Vijayarata
Kutumba
Kutumba
Atatotre
Atatotre
Dritahaya Rashmini Tachiriye Kshaniye
Dhrutahaya Rashmini
Dritahaya Rasmini
Tachriye
Takshriye
Kshaniye
Kshaniye
Bhagavati Ratir Astu Me Mumukshor
Bhagavati Ratir Astu Me Mumurshor
Yam Hiha Nirikshaya Hatha Swarupam
Yam Iha Nirikshya Hatha Gata Swarupam
Synonyms: Vijaya, Arjuna;
Vijaya Arjuna
Ratha, chariot;
Ratha Chariot
Kutumbe, the object of protection at all risk;
Kutumbe, the object of protection at all risk.
Atatotre with a whip in the right hand.
Atatotre with a whip in the right hand.
Dhrutahaya controlling the horses.
Dritahaya controlling the horses.
Rashmini ropes.
Rashmini ropes.
Tachriya beautifully standing.
Tachriya beautifully standing.
Ikshaniye to look at.
Ikshaniye to look at.
Bhagavati unto the personality of Godhead.
Bhagavati unto the personality of Godhead.
Rati astu, let my attraction be.
Rati astu, let my attraction be.
May my
May my
Mumursho, one who is about to die.
Mumursho, one who is about to die.
Yam upon whom.
Yam upon whom.
Iha in this world.
Iha in this world.
Nirikshya by looking.
Nirikshya by looking.
Hatha those who died.
Hatha those who died.
Gatha attained.
Gata attained.
Swarupam original form.
Swarupam original form.
Translation, please repeat after me. At the moment of death,
At the moment of
At
death,
the moment of death,
let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead.
let
let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead.
I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna,
I
I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna,
who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left.
who stood
who
with a
stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left.
Who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means.
who was
Who was
very
very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariots by all means.
Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death.
Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death.
Purport.
Purport. A pure devotee of Lord constantly sees the presence of the Lord within himself because of being transcendentally related by loving service. Such a pure devotee cannot forget the Lord for a moment. This is called trance. The mystic yogi tries to concentrate upon the supersoul by controlling the senses from all other engagements, and thus he ultimately attains samadhi. A devotee more easily attains samadhi or trance by constantly remembering the Lord's personal feature along with his bod holy name. Can you scoot over?
Please hold on, please.
Holy name, fame, pastimes, etc. Therefore, the concentration of the mystic yogi and that of the devotee are not on the same level. The concentration of the mystic is mechanical, whereas that of a pure devotee is natural in pure love and spontaneous affection. Bhishma Deva was a pure devotee, and as a military marshal, he constantly remembered the battlefield feature of the Lord as Parth Sarathi, the chariot driver of Arjuna. Therefore, the Lord's pastimes as Parthsarthi is also eternal. The pastimes of the Lord, beginning from his birth at the prison house of Khamsa up to the Maushala Leela at the end, all move one after another in all the universes, just as the clock hand moves from one point to another. And in such pastimes, his associates like the Pandavas and Bhishma are constant eternal companions. So Bhishma Deva never forget the beautiful feature of the Lord as Parthsarthi, which even Arjuna could not see. Arjuna was behind the beautiful Parthsarthi, while Bhishma Deva was just in front of the Lord. As far as the military feature of the Lord is concerned, Bhishma Deva observed this with more relish than Arjuna. All the soldiers and persons on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original spiritual form like the Lord after their death, because by the causeless mercy of the Lord they were able to see him face to face on that occasion. The conditioned souls rotating in the evolutionary cycle from the aquatics up to the form of Brahma are all in the form of Maya, or the form obtained by one's own actions and natural awarded by
Ordered by material nature.
nature. The material forms of the conditioned souls are all foreign dresses, and when the conditioned soul becomes liberated from the clutches of material energy, he attains his original form. The impersonalist wants to attain the impersonal Brahman effulgence of the Lord, but that is not at all congenial to the living sparks, part and parcel of the Lord. Therefore, the impersonalists again fall down and get material forms, which are all false to the spirit soul. A spiritual form like the Lord's, either two-handed or four-handed, is attained by the devotees of the Lord either in the Vakunthas or in the Goloka planet, according to the original nature of the soul. This form, which is 10% spiritual, is the Swarupa of the living being, and all the living beings who participated on the battlefield of Kurukshetra on both sides attained their Swarupa as confirmed by Bhishma Deva. So Lord Shri Krishna was not merciful only to the Pandavas, he was also merciful to other parties because all of them attained the same result. Bhishma Deva wanted the same facility also, and that was his prayer to the Lord. Although his position as an associate of the Lord is assured in all circumstances, the conclusion is that whoever dies looking on the personality of Godhead within or without attains his Swarupa, which is the highest perfection of life.
Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurvunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Mugam Karodi Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyam Ishwaram. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataga Swamin Nitnamini Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradayini Gaura Kata Damadaya Nagara Grama Tarini Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasdi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. What an amazing purport. What an amazing sloka. So here Bhagavad Gita is all filled with 700 slokas. Verses in Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata, where a conversation is happening between Krishna and Arjuna. But what exactly happened in the war field? So we see some scene there, oh, Sanjaya Uvacha. Then so we understand that it is the vision which is given by Vyasadeva to Sanjaya is what is being described in Bhagavad Gita, where Sanjaya is giving his perception, not just perception, his vision. He is seeing, and he is also seeing what others are thinking also. This empowerment is given by Vyasadeva to him. And we saw that Sanjaya is thus starting. First, Dhritarashtra is asking the question, and immediately Sanjaya Uvacha. That's the first verse in Bhagavad Gita starts with the Dhritarashtra Uvacha. The second verse starts with Sanjaya Uvacha. And the last verse in Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya Uvacha. So he is telling that Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. So wherever there is Partha, Arjuna is there. Tatra Sri Vijayir. So what and all will be there? Success will be there. So Vijaya also means success. Okay. So Vijaya will be, what kind of righteous success will be that? Righteous. Generally in the world, people who are considered to be successful, if you see, they would have adopted many illegal means or crooked means and they would have become successful. But here Sanjaya is concluding in Bhagavad Gita saying that there will be success, wealth, victory, wealth, everything, but it is righteously attained. It is righteously they would have got. Like this. So Arjuna got righteous success. It need not be like because Duryodhana is crooked, they also behave crookedly. They never behave crookedly. It doesn't mean that they are not very intelligent to tackle it or something, because they are devotees and they just, there are norms and they just need to follow the norms. That's it. They never had an intention like, I'll break the norms, he is breaking, so I will do this like this. So much mental calculations and planning and investing the faith on the intelligence. The intelligence is also polluted by lust, polluted. Once we have fallen into the material world, even our intelligence is polluted by lust only. So some people whom you see very intelligent, but you will see that actually they are using their intelligence for lusty purpose only. It is motivation. You see, the motivation is lust. And when the motivation is not pure, then it is not pure intelligence. So what Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, the Krishna conscious intelligence is Tadami Buddhi Yohantam. So that Buddhi Yoga, which is given by the Supreme Lord for the performance of devotional service alone, that is called Buddhi Yoga. The Bhakti Yoga is also called as Buddhi Yoga because the spirit soul itself is Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat is eternity and Chit is knowledge. Actually, spirit soul has an eternal knowledge which is lust-free. That lust-free knowledge will be manifesting, and it can be used by a devotee only when a devotee is performing for Guru and Krishna alone. There is no other motive. No lust, greed, envy, anger, competition, this, that. No name, fame, glory, position, nothing. Personal motives. Anya abhilashita sunyam. So when jnana karmadi anavritam, anya abhilashita sunyam, I don't have any other desire also, somebody may say. But jnana and karma anavritam. And then also pratikulya bhakti can be there. So no pratikulya bhakti or bhakti against Krishna. Anukulyena Krishna Nusilanam. These are all the conditions of pure devotional service. When somebody performs Jnana Deepena Bhashvata, Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, I will enlighten him with the spiritual transcendental knowledge. Not the material knowledge, or not the knowledge which we gain in the material world, the information gathering, taking notes and keeping informations with us to reproduce. This is the way we learn in material world. So this material education actually conditions us. That is why Prabhupada is telling that this kind of education only produces a rat out of a mountain, big universities. So very big universities, and Prabhupada said, like he gave an analogy that in a village, they told that this day there was a script or something which said that on this particular day, this big mountain will beget a child. So everybody got scared. Another small mountain will come. So how are we going to make arrangement? We should move away from mountain and everything. So everybody was very cautious, and the day came, the mountain will deliver the baby, and suddenly a small mouse ran out of the mountain. So Prabhupada gave this analogy for all these big universities, large campuses, great names and big fees and like this, and big show off. But what they are producing is like lower than a mouse, that they don't even know who they are. I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul, I'm eternal servant of Krishna. So if basics is I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul, like I see my grandfather, grandmother dying, I see my mother, father becoming old age, and I'm seeing they're having disease, I'm also having disease. And I see that the children are born, and as soon as they are born, they are crying. This way I see this, and simply in everyday life, we are seeing this. And still not understanding there will be a termination point, a death is awaiting to me any moment. We see somebody dying in accident, we see dying out of some disease, virus, corona, this, that, something. we are seeing they are getting terminated. So this is a temporary life, and investing all the energy in improving the temporary life, investing so much, thinking they are permanent, and investing all the energy in this temporary life, all the intelligence, all energy in this temporary arrangement, very seriously thinking this is the solution. Very seriously thinking, such a bewilderment. So here in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, so Vijaya, the starting, you see here, Vijaya, another name for Arjuna. We see here, Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is considered like success. So wherever Krishna and Arjuna are there, success will be there. That is told by Sanjaya. And in this way, he concludes Bhagavad Gita. But exactly what happened after that, in the war field, is here described by Bhishma Deva in a very vivid, allied manner. And he centered around Krishna and Arjuna, centered around. So here, Prabhupada is mentioning that how all the soldiers and persons on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So here we see the vision given by Bhishma, who's a Tattva-darshina. Tattva-darshina. People don't speak on the information gathered here and there and make some notes and give some analogies and crack some jokes and deliver a lecture. No. Here you see here the conversations in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, are all by devotees, and the devotees who have seen the truth. We see that in Bhagavad Gita, the verse says that Tattva-darshina, Jnaninas Tattva-darshina. So you surrender. What is that? Tatvide pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva-darshinaha. Tattva-darshina means a self-realized soul can impart that knowledge unto you. So how can somebody be self-realized? Self-realization is not a mental meditation process with which we understand we are a spirit soul or realize we are a spirit soul. No. So Tattva-darshina is personally seeing. So this is mentioned also in Bhagavad Gita. It is not such an impersonal process of meditation through which you can capture Krishna or see the happenings of the spiritual world or the happenings in the Kurukshetra war. Just by gathering information or fixing your mind on those informations, it is not possible to attain Krishna. How this is the secret is revealed by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, that revealed by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, that what is that? Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. So it is Raja Vidya. This Raja Guhyam, it's the greatest of knowledge, the greatest of education. Raja, king of education. And Raja Guhyam, it is the king of secret. It is not so easily, openly available that anybody can manipulate. No. If ordinary information can be password protected, what do you think about the information delivered by Krishna? It is also, even though we distribute Bhagavad Gita all over the world, still it is password protected, and Prabhupada is mentioning it is leaking the honey bottle from outside. One has to accept the author. At least theoretically, at least invest some faith on the author that he would have given some right information, and then open the book, then immediately they can see the truth. And of course, the author is Lord Krishna, but it is delivered by the pure devotee of the Lord and translated by Acharya Parampara. That is why it has effect. Otherwise, there are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita, and it is licking the honey bottle from outside. But a pure devotee spiritual master has to open the lid. So, the verse, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram Idamuttamam, Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmam, Susukam Kartum Avyayam. So, that Raja Vidya is king of education. Raja Guhyam, it is actually secret. Even though we are distributing the books all over the world, if somebody tries to misuse or something, they really won't understand. They'll be confused because it's personal. Krishna is involved. The Supreme Personality of your Godhead is fully conscious. It's not just a book. Just another book. So Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, the secret. What is that secret actually is Bhakti Yoga, which can even attract Krishna. Point number one, it attracts Krishna. And it is very, very rare. Krishna doesn't give it because he has to become submissive to the person who is practicing Bhakti Yoga, Krishna, pure devotional service especially. And he has to become submissive to that person. So Krishna doesn't give it so easily. It's very rare piece. Bhakti is not ordinary. It's very rare. So Rajaguhyam, it is the secret, the topmost secret. So Lord Chaitanya is showering so much mercy on us. We always say, Namo Mahavadanyaya, Prabhupada is very merciful, merciful. What is this merciful? This is very easy to understand. See, reading Bhagavad Gita, we understand that it is Rajaguhyam. But this secret we are practicing very casually and easily, everyday life like a child's play. It is possible only by the mercy, because the very, very rare piece. Many rishis, yogis, they are doing meditation. So in this purport, it is mentioned that fixing the mind of Krishna is not actually meditation, or remembering that form or something based on the information. So Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram, it is the purest, Pavitram, Idam Uttamam, the topmost, Uttamam, Tama, above Tama. So it is not, no ignorance is there, complete knowledge, complete. So it's topmost, Uttamam. Pavitram idam uttamam pratyakshavaghamam dharmam susukam kartum abhyamam. Pratyakshavaghamam dharmam. This is performed by direct perception, not by mental meditation. This, that, subtle, no subtle. This, that, jnana. This three modes, this, that, but we cannot see all those things. But this Bhakti Yoga process is performed by direct perception. You take the instruction given by Lord Chaitanya, which is further produced by Rupa Goswami and now translated by Srila Prabhupada, and we are having the book in our hand, Nectar of Devotion. Nectar of Devotion, the ocean of Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu, the ocean of devotional service, nectar. So if you look at the process which is given, every process is Pratyaksha Vahamam Dharmyam. Pratyaksha Vahamam. Very simple. Getting up early in the morning, that is not mentioned there. Okay, then what is it? It is Sattva Guna. So we can easily identify which is Suddha Sattva, which is Sattva. There was some exercise when we were doing the Bhakti Shastri, so which are all Sattva Guna, Suddha Sattva Guna, like this. So in that, getting up early morning, everybody had written it as Suddha Sattva. No, it is Sattva. Because you want to find out Suddha Sattva, go and refer to the dictionary. What is the dictionary? The 64 Angas of Bhakti and 9 processes of devotional service are given. 9 processes are given by Mahajanas, Prahlad Maharaj. Everybody is given. Bhakti Vinod Thakur also mentioned. Many places, Ravana Kirtana, Smarana Bandhana. So it's written. So same way, 64 Angas of Bhakti, walking behind the Ratha, and doing arati to the Lord. Sometime Prabhupada's father was having a cloth shop. So morning he have these duties to finish, and then the evening only he will finish. He will close the shop late night, and he'll come back home and he will do the arati in the night. And Prabhupada and Bhavatarini sister, everybody would have slept, and they will get up and they will come and sit next to the father, half sleep. They will come and sit next to the father and watch him do the arati, because they will hear the bell sound at night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. In this way, so of course, there is a nice system given by Prabhupada, and if we follow that, we will get the topmost benefit. Getting up a Mangala Arati is an amazing activity. Early morning, of course, Brahma Muhurta, and anybody who looks at the photograph of Guru and sings, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has written that Mangala Arati song, Guru Ashtakam, that Samsara Dava Nalita Loka, in which he is mentioning that anybody who looks at the photograph of his Guru and sings that song in the Mangala Arati time, then he gets direct service to Radha and Krishna. This is the falasruti of the verse. But so it is advised. But somebody is working late night, somebody is working in US shifts, somebody is traveling and working. It may not be possible. Now the movement has grown into a congregational movement, whereas earlier, when Srila Prabhupada was there, everybody was full-time. Even Grahasthas, as soon as they become devotees, they become initiated, they are full-time. Only. There's nobody outside. There was nobody so much outside. Very little, very minimal people who were initiated by Prabhupada were congregation. Majority of Prabhupada disciples were only full-time devotees, despite their grahasthas. So the congregational development happened only in the next chapter, Prabhupada. But Prabhupada said, like there is an example Guru Maharaj is giving. Prabhupada sent initially a sannyasi to London, and it was not very successful. And later, 3 grahasthas, they traveled to London and they stayed there, and the Krishna conscious movement grew very well because somehow or other they developed a good relationship with the Beatles, and then there was a support. And these 3 grahasthas made amazing knockout entry into London, which is UK, London, and it was a big breakthrough for ISKCON. And then Prabhupada at that time said, like in future, that ISKCON will majority be Krishna conscious movement will majority be grahasthas outside. Very, very limited, very small number will be full-time inside, like this. So grahasthas have various routines, and that system was not set up at that time. So there is a routine. And of course, then when congregational development came, then we see that how the grahastha's life can be molded in order to improve the expanding the Krishna conscious movement is the next level of growth of the Krishna conscious movement, and we should adopt with the wave. It's a movement. It is not stagnant. It is not some law is established at that time and we will follow only that. Like, of those principles are the same, principles are the law, but the details will differ time to time, like this. So in this way, very amazingly, oh, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari. So amazingly, Krishna conscious movement is growing into congregation. So this 64 angas of bhakti, if you see, pratyaksha bhagamam dharmam susukam kartam abhyayam. So many things are written in this verse. Pratyaksha bhagamam dharmam, practical application. We can practically apply. It is not a subtle science where we close our eyes and we think of Shyama Sundara form. All these things, these are all meditative processes. And Prabhupada is condemning that in this purport. That this is not that kind of meditation. You see that Bhishma Dev is describing what he has seen in the war field and activity. So what he has, pratyaksha bhagamam dharmam, pratyaksha, practical activities, pratyaksha bhagamam dharmam, susukam kartum avyayam. It will become such a blissful, it is very blissful, susukam. Ordinary sukam is simple, susukam, very, very amazing bliss, transcendental bliss. It is joyfully performed. Prabhupada is translating. Joyfully performed activities, not dhyana. I sit there and meditate and I'm a serious devotee. No, seriousness. Seriousness is this, that we are involved in the various services which are recommended by Guru Maharaj and recommended by Prabhupada scriptures. So, Haribol. Okay, so in this way, the Bhishma Dev is direct perception. So that is very important to understand. He directly is perceiving Tattva Darshina, direct perception. It is a realized knowledge. It is realized knowledge. We enter into Krishna conscious movement and all of us are sharing our realization. And Guru Maharaj always asks, please share your realization. Please share your realizations. Because that is truth. That is Tattva Darshina. If I participate in a Rath Yatra and I am describing Rath Yatra how it was, it is Tattva Darshina. It is realized knowledge. I see Guru Maharaj and I hear from him and I see his activities. This is realized knowledge because I saw. And when Guru Maharaj is describing about Prabhupada and what activities he did, what instructions he gave, that is realized knowledge. So, pratyaksha bhagamam dharmam susukam kartum avyayam. It is activity and it is a very blissful activity, transcendental, blissful, divine activity, which is blissfully performed. That is, Prabhupada has mentioned that it is very, very blissfully performed, happily performed. So that is the verse translation and purport. If you look, then you will understand that Rajavidya verse that Prabhupada is mentioning, it is a realized knowledge. It's not just gathering information and repeating it. Prabhupada said, Prabhupada did. No, how do I know? But I hear from Guru. I hear from a person who has really seen Prabhupada. Then it is realized knowledge. Otherwise, it is information technology, IT. That is called IT. Speak as if you have seen it. No, of course we see it by hearing. So you should quote that authority. You should hear from the authority. So if we follow our Guru Maharaj sincerely, then 100% we are following Prabhupada. That they are not too different. It is not a separatist mentality. The disciplic chain is not broken. How can you think like that? Then what is the value of any initiation? If you see your Guru, especially a very dedicated personality like Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, who is very sincerely executing his Guru's order till this very moment and carrying on the movement, very genuinely and sincerely. And if you see him away from Prabhupada, you see him Prabhupada as another person and another thing, and Guru Maharaj as another, who is practically executing. Susukam kartum abhyayam, kartum, the activity is very, very blissfully performed, and Tattva Darshina, he has seen. Then what is the value for any initiation, or what is the value for following the order of spiritual master? What is the value for any disciplic succession at all? We cannot negate the disciplic succession and break the chain by considering Srila Prabhupada. Of course, Prabhupada is special. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is special, Baba. He is also in Acharya Parampara, and he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever Prabhupada translated was either given by Vyasadeva or given by Rupa Goswami. That is only Prabhupada translated, or Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Is it not? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only gave to them. So in that way, Prabhupada is very special. And the same way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also special. Every Acharya is so special, and Prabhupada is very, very special because he has taken a very long step in order to deliver the fallen souls in Western countries. And he has given all this book day and night. He has translated and given this excellent transcendental knowledge. That way, Prabhupada is very dear to all of us. He is very special to all of us. At the same time, and everything Prabhupada did is very special. So his disciples, as the books are very special, his disciple is also very, very special. The disciple who is carrying out the order of the spiritual master is all special. Guru, then Sadhu, then Shastra. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. So we have this Acharya Parampara. So this we have to understand very clearly that what is realized knowledge and what is just information gathering and we repeating. Sometimes we see people repeat, okay, this Deepavali is the day Lord Ramachandra, somebody sent me a video in which somebody is telling, then Raja Ramachandra got victory. So the Deepavali is celebrated by saying Jai Sri Ram. Like this, where Prabhupada has said like that? Or where is Guru Maharaj saying that? This is the deviation, is broken. We can very easily understand which is broken. Because on Damodar Arati, we are seeing, and Vrindavan, when we go, that we hear from the pure devotees who are serving in Vrindavan, who are in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, they say, according to the scriptures, this entire month is very special. And Amavasya, which is falling in the middle of the month, Damodar month, Krishna performed most of his special leelas. Every day, Nitya Leela, every single day Krishna was performing leela. But on this month, he performed very, very special leelas like lifting Govardhan, dancing on Kaliya, all these things. But on this Diwali day, the 16 years, he performed special 16 leelas. Many. One is like going and breaking the Arjuna trees and liberating the this thing, and liberating the Kuvera's sons, and also Yashoda is the devotion of Yashoda is glorified and worshipped on this day because Bhakti Jir Tattvam, the Bhakti victory is celebrated. And on this day, it is said that Krishna is tied by Yashoda, which is the Supreme Lord allowed himself to be tied. Which is actually impossible. Big jnanis and yogis, it is impossible to be tied. So that is why in Vrindavan we celebrate. And Prabhupada lived and disappeared in Vrindavan. He wrote the books and he traveled from Vrindavan. And it is the glory of Damodara, which has to be spread all over the world. The Damodara Leela has to be made famous on this Diwali day. Every lamp is lit for Lord Damodara by tying in the tummy. But you may ask the question, why not say Sri Ram? Why not say that? Like that, but yam vapi smaran badamam tyajatyante kalevaram. Whatever you remember at the time of death is where you destined. You're destined to. So Prabhupada is showing the path, and Krishna, Guru Maharaj, like sincere devotees, are following Srila Prabhupada. So we have to follow in Guru Maharaj's footsteps, where he is promoting us just to call your neighbor and make them show the lamp. It is so easy. Just make 10 ghee lamps extra. Just call, it's Diwali. We are having a simple program. Kindly come and show 10 lamps. Show some lamps. Call some 10 neighbors and show the lamp. Make them show and give them some little prasad. In Diwali, even when we are non-devotees, we were sharing our snacks with others. So why not give this? Why not do this? So this is what is promoted by original follower of Srila Prabhupada and Acharya. We should be very careful that there is no deviant philosophies because every time there is deviations that warned by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Everybody is warning about the deviant philosophies. There is always deviations from the original branch of original trunk of Krishna consciousness. So we should be very, very careful that we are not part of any broken branch, but we are sticking to the original tree of Lord Chaitanya, original tree of devotional service, and Acharya Parampara is an unbroken chain of disciplic succession. So there is no difference between like serving Guru Maharaj, where he is following the instruction of Prabhupada and taking us in the right path. So here I would like to enlighten, just this is because very, very important purport, because we should understand what actually dhyana in Krishna conscious mean. Fixing our mind on Krishna means. So here you see that Bhishmadev is fixing his mind on Krishna, not in the, even though he's describing his form like one form with the, but you see his Kartum Avyayam. You see, he's showing Tattva Darshana, he's telling that various scenes where it's a movie, it is not a stagnant picture. It's not a picture, image, Baba. It's a video. It's a video, but that video is also not taken by somebody and he is watching and telling. Is what he saw. He saw in front of his eyes that Krishna running with the chariot wheel, he's sweating and he's wearing yellow garment, glittering, and he's so beautiful. 3 words will get attracted. He was very beautiful, Tamala Varnam, his blackish complexion, and varieties. You see variety here, you see. And you also see the variety here. So here, a pure devotee of the Lord constantly sees the presence of the Lord within himself because of being transcendently related. So the devotee is constantly seeing the presence of the Lord within himself, being transcendently related to the loving by loving service. Such a pure devotee cannot forget the Lord for a moment. And this is called trance. Very clearly understand that this is called a trance. Very, very important to understand that this mystic yogi tries to concentrate upon the super soul by controlling the senses from all other engagement, and it thus ultimately attains samadhi. See, the difference between yogi and a devotee is very clearly like a contrast is explained by Srila Prabhupada. The mystic yogi tries to concentrate upon the super soul by controlling the senses. Point number 1, controlling the senses. Point number 1, concentrate on the super soul. 2 is controlling on senses from all other engagements, and thus he ultimately attains. So people say that no other engagement. You sit down and chant Hare Krishna 16. Okay. Prabhupada was walking and chanting. So sometimes my leg becomes numb. I'll walk. Sometimes I'll sit. Sometimes I'll stand. So a person in the deathbed may lie down and chant. So no such postures. Okay, but that doesn't mean that we won't be. We would be properly behaved people in a natural way. So that is explained by Prabhupada here. A mystic yogi tries to concentrate, but a devotee more easily attains the same samadhi or trance. More than that, samadhi and trance, by constantly remembering the Lord's personal feature along with his name, fame, pastimes, etc. So it's various activities. Bhishmadev fixed his mind. As soon as we say fix, immediately people think it's a static form. You should think. One time I went for a japa meditation, retreat, whatever. Oh, you should meditate on a Shyamasundara form. You should meditate on Shyamasundara form. So just Shyamam Tribangalalitam, that form, static picture. No, here, but the devotee more easily attains samadhi or trance by constantly remembering the Lord's personal feature along with his holy name, fame, pastimes, etc. How will I know that? How can I, when I hear from spiritual master, it becomes manifest within the heart. So therefore, the concentration of the mystic yogi and that of a devotee are not at the same level. A devotee is Tattva Darshina. If I describe about a beautiful festival in Mayapur, it is Tattva Darshina. I am not telling any duplicate. I am not adding nose, eyes, and dramatically for the attracting audience. I am not adding something. I write a book and I write some extra information here and there. So add some nose, ears, and other things to that, and then psychologically manipulate others by giving some bogus information, which I have not realized or seen, just to attract somebody for something or convince somebody for something. No. As it is, without manipulation, without interpretation. What I saw in Rath Yatra, I saw this. Oh, you should observe Bhishma Panchaka in Mayapur. It's so amazing. How have you been there? Two things, yes, I have been there. Very rarely, of course, I have heard from a person who observed it. There is a second level. The first level is I have seen it. Yes, I have been there. They give such nice varieties, and there is Sankalpa we take. It is not like a Vrata itself. It's very, very nice feast and things like that. So that is remembering the Lord's personal feature, not just the form alone. So Prabhupada is mentioning name, fame, pastimes, etc. Not like dhyana, like a yogi. Therefore, the concentration of a mystic yogi and that of a devotee are not on the same level. This was mentioned by Prabhupada. The concentration of a mystic is mechanical, whereas the pure devotee is natural in pure love of spontaneous affection. So, the concentration of a pure devotee is, we remember Guru Maharaj very casually. We remember, okay, every 3 Sandhya, I have to remember my Guru all 3 times a day. So I will remember on Janmashtami, I'll remember Krishna, and Radhashtami, I'll remember Radharani, and on Govardhan Puja, I will remember Govardhan, and on whatever, Varahadev's appearance day, I will remember Varahadev, like that. Not like that. Whereas the nature of the pure, very natural and pure love and spontaneous affection, suddenly something may remind us of some pastime of Varaha, and immediately we may remember Varaha. Bhuma Devi, we see how wonderfully she is producing, and we can see how the glance of the Supreme Lord was there, and immediately she is producing so much. This Bhumi is such a beautiful, wonderful devotee. She is giving so many grains to us. Then we remember Bhuma Devi is just taken from the Garbha ocean by the Supreme Lord Varahadev. In this way, Varahadev, immediately we can remember. That is dhyana, that is samadhi. So by hearing all this pastime, Sravanam also, not that Tattva Darshina is 2 things. One is you directly see by direct perception, or you hear from a person who has seen it direct perception. So by direct perception you see. So this is, you see, you hear from a person who has seen it by direct perception. So Bhishma Deva was a pure devotee, and we can see, of course, by hearing only. Hearing is as good as seeing. Sound vibrations, non-different. Even the holy name of the Lord is non-different from Krishna. So the absolute scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we hear not any other thing. I hear Mahabharata from some bakwas, and then I see Mahabharata. No, it is not a transcendental scripture. It is not an absolute scripture. Only when you hear absolute scripture, it will get manifest. It is non-different from the happening. Not any scripture. I read Harry Potter, then I will see all the things. Of course, you will see in your dreams, but it is not true, and you won't be experiencing anything. So not other scriptures. Please hold on. Please hold on. So the Bhishma Deva was a pure devotee, and as a military marshal, he constantly remembered. So here you see that the pure devotee, it's natural. Nothing unnatural, nothing duplicity, no diplomacy, no manipulation, no psychological, no adding, subtracting, so that it will be very nice speech. It will be very, people will get attracted, many followers, I'll get nothing. As it is. So Bhishma Deva was a pure devotee and a military marshal. He constantly remembered the battlefield feature of the Lord Parthasarathi, the chariot driver of Arjuna. Therefore, the Lord's pastime as Parthasarathi. So here, Partha means Pritha's son. Pritha is another name for Kunti. So Pritha, son is Partha. And so Partha is another name for Arjuna. So Krishna became the chariot driver. So in those days, driver is called as Sarathi. So Partha Sarathi, the driver of Arjuna. The driver of Arjuna. So in that way, so here Prabhupada very sweetly mentions that even though Arjuna cannot see this Partha Sarathi form because he was behind Krishna, whereas Bhishma Dev was relishing this beautiful feature. If you see in the whole war field, even Panchapandavas were on the side of Krishna, and Krishna was on the side of Panchapandavas. So we don't know how much they would have seen, but he was in the opposite party. This is Prabhupada. He's churning the nectar. He's churning the nectar. And we see here the scene where the Bhishma is standing on the opposite side. So the vision, the complete, he's just because in the opposite party. What a great boon of seeing Krishna as a Parthasarathi, driver of his Bhaktavatsala, driver of his pure devotee. So this form is very, very special because it's special to Bhishma Dev. Because the doubt, even when other Panchapandavas would have seen or Arjuna would have seen. But he is remembering the special form which he continuously was seeing, because he was especially on that day, he was attacking constantly. So, and Krishna's, this thing was broken. What is that? Written in this. At the moment of death, my ultimate attraction be on Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with the whip. So in one hand, he's having whip on the right hand. So how, people may ask, how in ISKCON we have drawn, how that picture in the cover of Bhagavad Gita as it is, why the cover is like that, where from? We have for everything what Prabhupada described and his disciples drew, but Prabhupada is 100% taken. See here, Arjuna, so the chariot driver, how he is standing with the whip in his hand and the bridle rope, which is catching the horses, controlling the horses. The bridle rope controls the horses. So on the left hand, Krishna is holding that bridle rope, which will catch the horses. And on the right hand, he's having the whip in the hand. And who was very carefully, he was protecting Arjuna's chariot by all means, and admiring, Bhishma is admiring those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So here he's mentioning how he was protecting the chariot. So in the previous verse also, it is mentioned Krishna's that protective shield was broken into pieces and he looked very beautiful. So this is the vision. Parthasarathi description is given by the Tattva Darshana. The Bhishma Deva is fixing his meditation on all these activities. This is really samadhi, real meditation. This is because its name, form, various things, variety. Spiritual, Krishna conscious means variety. The spiritual world means variety. Very variety. Brahmajyoti only light, Jyoti, like this, only sound, only thing. There is no only form is yogi. In only one form he will meditate on 400 form. Or some form, one form. That is yogi. So here not variety. The life, jiva, the jiva can have like living force, has all his energy to be experienced, spent to the fullest extent. That is spiritual world. So Bhishma Deva never forgot the beautiful feature of the Lord as Parthasarathi, which even Arjuna could not see. The name is Parthasarathi, that is the chariot driver of Arjuna, but Arjuna cannot see this. But Bhishma, as far as the military feature of the Lord is concerned, Bhishma Deva observed with more relish than Arjuna. So like the Krishna consciousness is like a sky. Every bird has its place to fly. Have you ever seen there's a traffic jam in the sky? Sometimes the birds fight, I see, or play, I don't know. But otherwise, the sky is so very open, the bird becomes insignificant. That much is the depth of Krishna conscious ocean. And nectarian ocean, that the devotees are like fishes or aquatics who can play around how much ever. And the deep water fishes called makara fishes are lying the depth of Krishna consciousness. And if we are sincere and we are attached to pure devotees and we invest the faith, very simple, invest the faith on them, then we can also see the depth of this ocean. So like the sky, where the Prabhupada is mentioning devotional service, the sky is the limit, unlimited sky, there's no limit only. And in that, the birds are flying. So there is no competition, like every bird can execute is a sweet transcendental exchange with the Supreme Lord. So Arjuna had some fortune, and see here, Bhishma Dev had another fortune, and Kunti had another fortune, another vision, perceptions. They are giving different perceptions of this how people see Krishna, how devotees see Krishna, and what each one have their own personal exchanges. When we discuss pure devotees pastimes also, like when we ask, okay, about pastime about Guru Maharaj, people explain, each one explain their own experiences with then everything is unique. And everything is unique. And there's no repetition. There need not be a repetition in spiritual world because there is no conditioning. There's no limitation. It is unlimited. It's no kripana. It's not a kripana world. It's a liberation. Liberate means freedom. Freedom means free from every conditioning. Every conditioning. Not even numbers. Numbers cannot condition. That emotions are unlimited. Everything is infinity. Everything is infinity. When there is infinity devotion with the infinity rasa, infinity exchanges with the infinity Lord, then what is there to be envious of anybody? That is why this Bhagavatam is said to be for those people who are 100% pure in heart. And in that, Prabhupada is mentioning non-envious people. This Krishna conscious movement is not for envious people. This is for non-envious people. So because this is so sweet, so every devotee is relishing and the rasa is flowing, and while we drink it, then we understand, our affection for Krishna also increases while we hear these exchanges. Material world, generally people become competitive or envious. So that is material feeling. So we should understand through the spiritual scriptures how these devotees are amazingly relishing this exchange with Krishna. And similarly, we should appreciate also genuine affection of anybody with Guru Maharaj, anybody with Krishna. We should never feel them a competitor or envious or like this. Then we miss a real rasa of the exchange with Guru, exchange with Krishna. We miss. So all the soldiers and persons, and next gives the topmost secret is revealed. All the soldiers and persons in the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained the spiritual form like the Lord after their death because of the costless mercy of the Lord. Everybody, both in the sides of Panchapandava or in the side of Duryodhana, everybody who died attained the spiritual form. So there are many spiritual forms here mentioned that how the conditioned soul is stuck up in this material world, and they get out of this, and there is Goloka, either go to devotees, go of the Lord, either go to Goloka planet, or so that is Swarupa. Swarupa means original Rupa, the spirit soul's Rupa. Swa means Swayam. Swayam means me, myself, original self. Rupa means form, the form of the original self. So I am spirit soul. The spirit soul is also have a form. It is not that spirit soul is a light, which is sometimes you see somebody dies and they will see one light going away like this. So at least even going away, there will be a subtle form, even if he's not liberated. There will be always a form. Even ghosts have a form. Subtle, but have a form. So there's no formlessness exist. You see formlessness, then you're in illusion. Everything is personality. Even Shaktis of the Lord are personalities. Shaktiman is a personality and Shakti is also a personality. So Swarupa is original Rupa of the self. And that is attained only in spiritual world. We have that Swarupa, so of the living being. So everybody attained some Swarupa in the spiritual world. The living being who participated in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Both sides. And this is confirmed by Bhishma Deva. So why? Very, very simple, yeah. How? Simply by seeing the Lord. The conclusion is that whoever dies looking at the personality of God and within or without attains his Swarupa, which is the highest perfection of life. So the holy name is not different from the Lord. So sometimes people try to remember. No, we observe in various activities of Krishna conscious movement. Naturally, it will be part of our death that we will remember the Lord. All success will be yours. Prabhupada is mentioning, chant 16 rounds and follow regulative principles. All success will be yours. So when Guru Prabhupada is assuring this, certainly we will see the various same like Bhishma Deva. We will also be seeing. Genuinely follow the spiritual master, his instructions, genuinely take up very seriously the initiation oaths, practice it nicely, and serve as much as possible, and live a beautiful Krishna conscious life, benefit others as much as possible by giving this Krishna consciousness to others. Don't try so hard to penetrate into something and fight with somebody and things like that. Naturally, everything naturally arranged by the Supreme Lord. Yare deko teha kaho Krishna ubades. Yare deko. So who Krishna will arrange? Who will be around us? Whom we will meet? We don't know. We are meeting people every day. And casually we can mention about this Krishna consciousness, which really relieves them from material misery and gives them all auspiciousness. And in this way, we will also be benefited. We will certainly be getting the success by the blessings of Acharya Parampara, Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Today is Diwali, so I took a little extra. And this beautiful scene and the secret formula given by Prabhupada here. We are seeing the deities. We are hearing from Guru Maharaj Chaitanya Leela. While here from pure devotee, we can see this scenes happening in front of our eyes. For example, I didn't know Panihati. I've never been to Panihati before. But when Guru Maharaj was taking this Chaitanya Leela class, at that time, I heard that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we returned back to Bengal after taking sannyas, and one Nawab, somebody arranged a boat with a Hamsa boat. Swan like boat, Anna kind of. So it was, and he was also guarding, and he took him via Ganges till Shantipur. So on the way, Lord Chaitanya, big Ganges, and stopped in the boat. It was so beautiful. People in both sides of the river were having darshan like this, and all were coming. So I was thinking, how would this place will be? I don't know, but I was hearing like this. So one fine day, it happened that I happened to go to Panihati, and it was of course, I've been earlier to Panihati, but that was not via Ganges, but it was via the road. And that was the festival day of Panihati. One time I've been, and it only crowd I saw, people only. I didn't see the place exactly. We went to the temple, just had some Chittadahi prasad, and we sponsored some prasad and gave to some people. And we came out, and I saw only crowd and nothing else. Maybe I don't know, some water I took, or no, I didn't take the water also on my head because it's so crowded. So then, like I can say, like lakhs and lakhs of people. Crowd means not ordinary. But next time I got the opportunity to go by the boat. This is by the mercy of the Supreme Lord and the real mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Guru. This is possible that. And I saw that Ganga while crossing, and I suddenly remembered, Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So Lord is giving us remembrance that, yes, Panihati past time we read recently, Prabhu Maharaj took class, no, some days back. Oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming in the boat, and I saw that how this Ganga was so big, and I saw the big boat is coming, and with the Anna Pakshi, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a houseboat. It is mentioned, description is given there, that there's a house, and that is Nawab arranged like that. And he also was personally escorting in 2 boats behind him, 2 or 3 boats behind Prabhu, our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so that he will guard. And so I was remembering immediately that, and saw the Ganga, and it was matching, and it was so amazing feeling to see that. And I was taken aback. Wow, oh, this is what is, and both sides people were standing. That is why thousands and thousands and lakhs of people are assembling there. Forefathers would have told like this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, Nityananda Prabhu came, like this. They have told, and that is why on this Panihati day we had a big utsav, and all of us ate like that. He tells to his grandchild, and son tells to his son, and grandchild, only 5-7 generations, 500 years, and all of them are coming and assembling in lakhs and lakhs there. So how amazing was it? Like it was, this is what is. So by hearing from pure devotee, it is certainly different from hearing from any other sources or reading the book. Certainly it is different. So we should hear as much as opportunity is there, hear from pure devotee, spiritual master. Your spiritual master, and the spiritual master is alive and he's giving class. As much as possible, you hear. You hear as much as possible. And if you cannot hear live, then you hear on another day. Try, don't miss out. 1 or 2 you miss out, that's also not all right, but it's okay. But try not to miss. From your side, it shouldn't be lethargy. It should be very genuine. Then we can see, actually. We can also see. Amazing this is. So the conclusion is that whoever dies looking at the personality of Godhead, within or without. So even the war field, the enemy party also attained Swarupa. Then what to speak of who are favorably serving the Acharya Parampara? Certainly success will be ours. Hari Bol. Wish you all a very, very blissful Diwali, because Krishna showed that today is the day where Bhakti Jir Tattvam, the Tattva, where the devotion is higher than Krishna himself, whereas Krishna is Madana Mohan, and the devotion attracts even himself. So that is, his Bhakti is Jeet, and the devotion is higher. Pure devotional service is higher than the Supreme Lord himself. So Prabhupada said that why we want to be equal to the God, why I want to merge with God, why I want to be a God, I will control God. we will teach you how to control God. So Krishna is controlled only by pure devotion, and with showing simple lamp and singing the song with the proper meaning, meditating on, we can very easily attract Krishna by following the process shown by our Acharya Parampara, unbroken chain of disciplic succession, our Guru Maharaj. So follow everything nicely, sincerely, develop faith on spiritual master, and certainly success will be ours. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Happy Diwali. Wish you a very, very blissful Diwali. Hare Krishna. The day where devotion became successful.
Very good. Any questions, comments, or realization, please do share with us. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much for your association. So we will assemble back tomorrow early morning at 5 o'clock by chanting congregationally, together followed by Srimad Bhagavatam class. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Patita Pavan Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai.
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 Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Sri Bhagavat Satsang ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai. Nitai